Have y'all ever heard that saying, you don't know what you have until it's gone? I know we've heard that before. How much have we not appreciated what we have? It's easy not to appreciate your spouse. I've done this. It's easy to hold offenses. It's easy to point the finger. It's easy to want to take control and be prideful and lean on your own understanding. It's easy to want things your way and to be selfish in a marriage. This is part three, y'all, of my testimony and what Jesus has done in me and my husband. And I hope this blesses y'all here on this channel. I remember as where we are today, my gosh, it was hard for me to embrace God's will for my life. It was hard for me to embrace my spouse. It would have been so easy to move on to the next person, but I'm not in this because I want to move on to the next person. I'm not in this for convenience. I'm not in this so that my spouse can make my life better. I'm in this because I love him and I love Jesus and I want Jesus's will. I can't tell you that I was like that 2, 3 years ago. I was not like that. It was hard. I was wrestling, tussling, thoughts of divorce, everything possible kept coming up. And I thought that I knew what I wanted. And I thought, whoa, maybe did I make a mistake? These are things that ran through my mind. I'm not going to blame this all on the devil because I have a flesh. But my gosh, we went through so many unnecessary things because of trauma, pain, and because our perception of one another. And we looked at one another a lot of times like our past, our trauma, or an ex, or things that we've been through. So it's so easy to not be able to see what God is doing if all you see is what you want to see. It's so easy to see that somebody else is the problem, but not realize that we are the problem, that we need to change, that our hearts are jacked up, that we have bitterness and unforgiveness and resentment in our hearts. It's so easy to look at our spouse and be like, man, you're messed up. You need to change. And you did this and look at you. But what have you did? What did you do? What have you done? What needs to change in you? If we start focusing more on the change that Jesus wants to do in our hearts, and we start focusing on our spouse, and if we learn to embrace God's love for us, because that's what's missing. Thinking of it like this, if God loves you so much and he won't throw you away, he won't just take his love back when you make a mistake. If God treats us that way, why can't we love others that same way? Why can't we just forget? Jesus forgets literally what we've done. He remembers it no more, his word says. If he can love me like that and still be there for me and nothing can separate me from his love, why can't you love your spouse the same way? They need your love. And don't just say or make thoughts or comments or think, well, if they don't want to forgive, I ain't going to forgive. If they don't love me, I ain't going to love them. If they do that, I'm going to do that. How much better are you for playing tit for tats? Me and my husband did this all the time. We're still learning to stop doing this. Can I be honest with somebody? Everything I'm telling you, I'm learning to live out my daily life every single day, but it's so much better because Jesus has done a miracle in our marriage this past year. That's why we just renewed our vows 3 weeks ago. He's done miracles. I'm telling you, he can do anything. He just needs two willing, surrendered hearts, humble before him. And a lot of times we don't want to humble ourselves. We always want to play who's right, which is pride and selfishness. And we always want to play the blame game and be opinionated and criticize and judge. These are the things that I still do. These are the things I have to come to Jesus and say, Lord, forgive me. Help me to deny myself. Help me to deny my flesh. I know it's not easy, but if you want to see God's beautiful outcome or design for your marriage, because he can do anything he wants to do, but he needs you to surrender. He needs your spouse to surrender. Let's just say you're the only one who surrendered in your marriage. What do? You honor the Lord. You do your part. You love, you forgive, and you cry out and ask Jesus to help you to mold and model an example of Jesus in your home. This could be for the husband as well, not just the wife. What if my spouse isn't receptive? You don't look at your spouse, you look at Jesus. And I know it's hard not to look at your spouse when they're doing all these crazy things, saying all these crazy things, but you have to believe, and this is for me, I'm thinking of myself. We have to believe that Jesus is going to handle and speak to your spouse and humble them like he is humbling us as well. We have to believe that Jesus is working in us and working in them too. Don't look at what they're doing, what they've done, and will God deal with them. Just focus on God dealing with your heart and softening your heart and changing your heart. I know change is uncomfortable and it's not easy, but we need Jesus to change, and we need him to help us to grow and mature. Because a lot of times we're walking around acting like our own kids. No wonder why Jesus sometimes calls me and my husband immature. He goes, you're acting like a kid right now. Like, this is how God really talks to us. But it's like, what kind of example do you want to set in your home, to your family, to others around you? What kind of example do you want to set in your marriage? And that depends on you and your relationship with Jesus, your intimacy with Jesus, and your surrender. That's what it's dependent off of. So for part three in our marriage testimony, because we have so much more to share, me and my husband are currently and have been learning what loving like Jesus looks like, and that we need to grow and draw closer to him and realize he loves us. So why should we throw away our love and stop loving each other? Why should we love based off conditions? You should not. And a lot of times it's easy to be like, well, you don't love me, so I ain't gonna love you. That's not God's love. If God doesn't love you like that, why do you want to love your spouse like that? Don't focus on my spouse won't change. They don't want to grow. Focus on what Jesus wants you to do. And trust, and this is what I'm talking to myself about lately, trust that Jesus is going to speak and move on your behalf, even if you're being mistreated. It could be it can be either or. The wife could be mistreating the husband can be mistreating the wife, or you're both mistreating each other. There's no partiality in what I'm saying, because God deals with us both individually as husband and wife. So I'm going to stop right there because there's so much to share. If you guys have any questions, comment below, share this with someone who might need to hear this video. Look forward to the rest of the testimony. Check out the shorts that we put up as well. And I will see you guys next time. God bless you.